Community Matters.
Hello and welcome to Many Voices, One Community, stories that unite us across Long Island and beyond. I'm Gaitley Stevenson-Mathews. I'm so very pleased to serve as Community Engagement Officer here at the Holocaust Memorial and Tolerance Center. And what a great treat for me to be the host of this particular podcast, and a great treat today because I've got my good friend Frank Camarano. And I'll tell you what, I have known Frank close to 10 years now is what I'm guessing.
Getting there.
I mean, you know, just through the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce,
Yep.
And just in the community. And as you may have seen, we had our mutual friend, Dr. Max, who was the president of the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce, on a few weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And just so you all know, I mentioned to Frank, I just wanted to get him on this program to chat a little bit about, you know, how commerce lifts us up, how commerce makes a difference, and how things like chambers and the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce make a difference in giving opportunity to our full community, and at the end of the day, enriching everybody's lives. But before we go through that path, just for our viewers and our listeners, I would love for you to just share a little bit about yourself. I was reading your bio, and all of them seem to begin with, while running a fitness center, he also ran this. And while he was doing this, he was doing the third thing. So why don't you just share, how does someone like you in your journey, went to a very fine Catholic university, and run a major firm at this point in your life, and you're president, correct, of the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce. And unless those terms run for 10 years each, I'm guessing you've been reelected, or you've certainly been in that position a long time, at least from my perspective. But share a little bit about yourself.
Well, okay, so commerce-wise, chamber-wise, you know, my even though I am from Franklin Square, my family, you know, my parents are still there. We've been there like forever. My family had built a gym, our second one in Nassau, in East Meadow. So at that point, because I was in East Meadow and my family was in Salisbury, you know, over time, I wound up joining the chamber at some point, right? I mean, we joined right away as a business, but then down the road, after years and years, I wound up, you know, because a friend of mine was going to be president, kind of, you know, I don't know, but unexpectedly, but kind of certainly not planned.
Right, sure.
Winding up on the board, you know, and things went fast. And, you know, the Nassau Council, what we're doing is the umbrella organization of the 49 chambers in Nassau County, right? So, so I was president of that a couple years, you know, 17 and 18. And then I got involved with, you know, the council, even during that time, of course, as all chambers do. And, you know, like after like 3 or 4 years of that, I wound up, you know, becoming president.
Right.
I'm in my 4th year.
Right.
So,
I started to say, and then, so from my perspective, probably I've been involved with the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce probably 4 or 5 years. So you were the president that I have known from the get-go of things. Yeah. And of course, first with the North Shore Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, of course with the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce. And I will say, and in fact, one of the reasons I wanted you on this program is that the breakfast that you all do every year, when you walk into that room and you see so many people, not just regions of Nassau County, but I know there is a Black Chamber of Commerce, I know there's a Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, but people from every walk of life, every kind of business, and the fact that you all are a part of lifting that up and helping support those businesses. You know, this podcast is Many Voices, One Community. Right. The fact that there are so many different voices in that room, and the fact that at the end of the day, when you support all of our businesses, even sometimes they're competing businesses, but when you support each other, you have a stronger community and a better community. Yeah. What has been the secret to Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce success in bringing businesses together and bringing our community together?
Well, okay, so let's just for a second double back on the breakfast.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Time's moving, like we're planning on that. We had a board meeting this morning. The breakfast is, tail end of every October. and it's a Small Business Person of the Year and Legislative Breakfast, right? I believe this is our 40th year of doing the breakfast. Not of us, but of doing the breakfast. The Business Person of the Year, it's many people. How is that? Well, every chamber picks their own, right? So we supply the venue for the chambers to come. And, the chambers come and we honor all the honorees, Along with that, of course, is legislative breakfast. So I imagine back in the day, it was planned maybe this time of year because, it's kind of like right before election time.
Sure.
I would imagine, right?
So you want your elected officials around the table and there to see and there to hopefully support our businesses, right?
Well, they come. I mean, look, it's been a great venue. We get about 750 or so at the Crest Hollow. In fact, after today, I don't know when this is going to air, but we're heading over there to do a walkthrough.
Great.
For the end of October this year. It's on Halloween, so that should be interesting, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah. But I mean, look, it's that with the breakfast. I mean, it gets all the chambers together and talk about a lot of voices, right?
Right.
It's a little rowdy, which I love.
I love to.
A lot of our board have been around a long time, and they're more used to like old school,
right?
Kind of like IBM-ish kind of thing. I think the folks like us that have, haven't been around all that long,
right.
We like it a little bit louder, a little bit more. It's a different kind of game,
right? And I will say I'm sure you've had other fabulous presidents as well.
Yeah.
But I mostly know you, and one of the things I appreciate, Frank, that you bring as the president of the organization and to that event is exactly what you're talking about. It's a lot of joy. It's a lot of fun. It's a little bit of pull the stops out, but in a really beautiful way. And to see, there's so many of those businesses. I know Stella was who was at the Regency here in Glen Cove, was, I believe, the Glen Cove Chambers representative last year. Of course, just being involved in the community, the ones from Glen Cove, I've always known. Yeah. And to see their faces light up when you take it someone who's been at it a long time or someone who is new to the community and has worked so hard. And, the thing I always like to drive home is you're supporting businesses,
right?
But you're also supporting families.
Yeah.
I think about that. And to me, that there's something magical that happens. It's just like owning your own home. When you're able to have a concept and to take that concept from beginning to end and make a business and then serve the community and prosper because you did it well.
Yeah.
That is such a great sense of accomplishment. And not only does it help you and your community, I learned this early on working in a clothing store through high school, is that if you're a good salesman and you serve your customer, yes, you make the money, but that customer is going to come back because his wife was happy that he went home with a nice suit and a pair of slacks. He knows he can get service, and everybody wins, and you've got a better community.
Okay, what you're talking about really is chambers, right?
Yes.
I mean, which is that's everyone on our board. We're really all chambers, right? And but that's the I won't say it's not a separation, but how we support the businesses in the chambers, and the chambers support on the ground the businesses, right? What you're referring to is typically a more typical small business, even though legally a small business could be hundreds of people part of them,
Absolutely.
But really the mom and pops, they're the ones who usually live in the communities that they're in, right? Their businesses in, and they're supporting the schools, they're supporting the football teams and everything that's going on there. And without that, what do we got, right? So you hear even the county, we look, a lot of what we do is supported by the county, through grants and all, thank God. I mean, you mentioned even in the past, there've been a lot of presidents along the way, we've been around a lot of years, but, I guess because of a COVID and all that and a lot of other things, there's, the county's been able to afford us a lot of funding to help small businesses directly, right? Which we didn't have before. So we make our moves, right? But when it comes to, it's like they talk about tax base, where the money comes from, and I'm not the one to speak to that. There are better people to do that, the amounts and all that.
Right.
But really, small business is where it is, And thank God, for the county and, look, always give them a heads up, man. Bruce Blakeman's great.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been great to us. He's just great, you know. But it allows us to really help the chambers concentrate on them. And like you mentioned, Glen Cove, right? I mean, look, off the top of my head, there's like a few chambers that have been around over 100 years.
Right.
Glen Cove's one of them. I think they're 104, 105. Great. I know Garden City's one of them, you know.
Right.
So, but they're big chamber, right? There's a lot of stuff going on up here, right? And we don't have to, not that we don't have to concern ourselves with like Glen Cove or the North Shore. Of course we do. But the truth is, that's the chamber's job, right? The chamber
Right.
does that. They do a great job in every community, right?
Right, but you all pull it together.
Yes,
You
I
pull
mean,
it
look,
together.
the truth is there
that to
are
me the
times,
magic.
thanks for the kudos.
Yes.
Okay. But right, I mean, if they need help or assistance, you know, look, let's just face it. I won't say at all level, but okay, let's say at all level, the county level, where the council is, it's kind of easier for us to get more resources to a certain extent than a chamber would.
Right,
Right?
sure.
So how do we make those resources work for community organizations, business community organizations at the ground level? And that's really, you know, that's kind of like our song and dance. all
Right, you're
along.
like the conduit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're the conduit.
We
I'm
try.
Speaking to a construction guy here. Right?
Yeah.
So I have a question. So I'm thinking about the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce, which as a board member, I'm very familiar with.
And Mary's on my board now.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
hear. That's what I hear.
Mary
Of course, you know,
Stanko.
Dr.
There you go.
Max
Yeah, of course,
or
yeah.
Mary.
Yeah.
But for example, tomorrow night, the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce will present a check for $2,000
Okay.
to Nosh. Nosh delivers. It's through one of our fundraising efforts. So from that, and of course, Nosh delivers, as you may or may not know, since you're in the area, delivers food to families in need.
I really didn't know.
Yeah,
I've heard of them, but I but,
$2,000.
Okay.
In a similar way, we have a farmers market, the Deep Roots Farmers Market.
I know you took that over recently.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So there was a dear friend of the community who passed away. Our hearts broke, but we also felt, and Amy Peters, who ran that for so many years, wanted the chamber to take it on, to continue it. And with the board, there was some back and forth because it's a giant responsibility. But at the end of the day, we felt like it was so important, not just for commerce, but for our community, for our community. So, I know, for example, last year's, I believe, the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce, there was a beneficiary. I believe it was VetDogs. Does that sound?
Yeah, I think that was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah, they had the dog was up. I think it was last year. I lose track, but right, yeah.
As business people, just in our communities, we could just do business. Just do business. Why would business people feel at all obligated or feel that they should be involved in supporting community initiatives? Why do the businesses bother? Why does Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce, why do they, pull business together, help that, but then also help an organization like VetDogs? Make sure something like the Deep Roots Farmers Market that runs every Sunday, not every Sunday, but every Saturday.
In case you haven't missed it, this is an ad a little bit for the Glen Cove Chamber of Commerce, but that's okay.
It's okay. We're
That's
one
okay.
of them. Right,
I'm good with that.
Right. Yeah, no. But why do chambers do that, and why does?
Well, look, I mean, every single person has their own reasons, right?
Right.
I mean, I try and stress to folks, especially chambers, including my own East Meadow, we're a business organization, right? So if we do things for the community, which happens all the time, make sure that folks know it, right? Make sure you're promoting what you're doing. I mean, I'm a Kiwanian too in East Meadow, that's for kids and all, but it's not even about it's not about bragging what you're doing. It's about the fact that what allots you the opportunity and the wherewithal to help these businesses, okay? Or to help these organizations or these needy folks or what have you, is what puts money in your pocket. If people don't know what you're doing, eventually it's not going to be there. So you want to keep the circle moving, right?
Right, right.
So, I mean, look, if businesses in communities aren't helping the people around them, you know, even look, everyone needs something at some point, even just a shoulder to cry on. A lot of that happened during COVID.
Right,
Businesses
sure.
were closing. I was in the gym business, and my gym closed for half a year. Everyone did, right? A lot of times, just giving them a shoulder to cry on is enough, right? But if a chamber or organizations like them, right, don't do it, who's going to do it?
Right.
Right? Who's there to do that, you know, for them? I'm not going to say no one, but it's going to be, you know, hard pressed to find, right?
Right.
So, and you know, kudos for them again for doing that. You know, great people. Remember, all the chambers are volunteer, including us, organizations, right? So they're taking time, yes, away from their own business, earning money, away from their families, their religion, all these things that are very super important, okay? To take time to help others, whether it's also supporting their own business because they're in the mix also, and they're doing it, you know, let's just say out of the kindness of their heart. They really are.
Right. Sure.
You know?
Sure.
Right.
Well, and you know, I would say again with VetDogs, with
VetDogs,
with what the Nassau Council of Chamber of Commerce does in across the boards, supporting so many different chambers with so many regions of Nassau County, so many different communities. Sure. You know, and shining light on those. You know, that makes such a big difference, and that to me is the heart behind why you do the work. Why, you know, what a big job. I mean, I just show up, enjoy the breakfast, and you know, but whereas everybody else does all the heavy lifting, including yourself. But what a beautiful thing that can pull that together.
Well, look, because you know, we also just recently moved. We had offices the past couple of years, which we didn't before, right, in East Meadow. We've relocated to Nassau Community College, right? We have half a floor of South Hall, and, you know, we have classrooms there, so we're going to be teaching, you know, which we started during our grant program, you know, in the last winter. I mean, other people see, like you do, that the things that are like, you know, are noticing the needs and what other folks are doing, including, you know, Nassau Community College. You know, I went there first before Nova. I went there. I wouldn't have gotten Nova without Nassau first. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know, but again, like it's, you know, there's all these parts fitting together.
Right.
You know, probably back in the day because of other reasons, maybe the need probably wasn't as extreme as it is now. You know, probably.
Right.
And certainly the financial resources weren't there. It was different times. You know, but again, without folks acknowledging and wanting to be a part and be a help when they can. This, no matter how much we try, no matter how much chambers try, we wouldn't be able to pull it off.
Right.
You know, I mean, look, you're a chamber person. I met you through that, right? North Shore kind of thing. And yeah, it's just everybody's in this together. You know, that's what I kind of want to stress. I mean, give me the opportunity to speak here today.
Sure.
Is that it's not about the Nassau Council. It's not even about the chambers. You know, it's about everyone working together. You know, I mean, yes, chambers do that for business. That's what they do, you know. But
Right.
it's, again, it's, as you noticed, it's a lot bigger picture than just that.
Right.
It's about just plain helping people.
Absolutely. And I'll say, you know, the networking aspect of that, where you see the talent that comes to the various chambers and the talent, and you see opportunities where my business may be able to connect with your business. And by doing so, you strengthen not only your own businesses, but also the community. And I'd say that's giant, Frank. The other thing that I just notice in just watching you work is you seem to enjoy it. Is that all a put on, or when I see you in a room and I see you connecting with people, is it the joy of knowing that it's being pulled off? Is it the victory of, yes, we managed to get those grants for these small businesses, yes, we were a part of that? Or is it just that you enjoy people? Or what's been your driving force to get you where you are today and making such an impact?
Well, you're asking about me.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I love doing what I'm doing. And I'm you know, very appreciative of the folks around me, you know, Joe, Gary, you know, all the people on the board to help with that. I mean, yes, I enjoy it. If we weren't as successful as we are, I would imagine that I wouldn't probably feel that way, right? And not as much anyway, right?
No, of course.
Look, you mentioned at the beginning, it's like how long I've been around and doing this. I mean, I'm waning down on my 4th year, right? So by the bylaws we have right now, I'm capped. So in October, we have to either by then we have to either change the bylaws, which we're kind of working on,
right?
Or then probably Joe will be president or whatever. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll deal with it one way or the other. But I'm proud of what we've done. In the meantime, for sure. I mean, look, the truth is, if it wasn't for this, I wouldn't have met a lot of people.
Right.
Yes, East Meadow Chamber would have met a lot of people from East Meadow and the local towns, Levittown and Merrick and Belmore, around there. But look how many people, including yourself, I've met so many people.
Right.
And look, whatever happens tomorrow, we always have that.
Right.
We always have that to take home with us, right?
Right.
And as long as, you didn't ask about regrets, but I'll tell you, do I have regrets? Of course I have regrets. I'm a human being, right?
Right.
Could we do things better? Yes, I tell people all the time. We don't necessarily make mistakes, but it's like kind of like missed opportunities at times. Don't we all, right?
Right, right.
So we brush ourselves off, we learn from each other, work together, and hopefully, do it better next time around.
Right. And I will say the thing that I've noticed in so many people in leadership positions, and that the key that you've brought here is mentioning the other people.
Yeah.
It's easy to say, which you were not at all, to say, well, I did this, and oh my gosh, you're probably surprised to hear da 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 da. No.
Yeah.
It's about, thanks for this help and for this support and these people involved. And I've had having a great time with it, and we pulled this together. And to me, that is just such an amazing sign of leadership, which certainly you have brought to the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce in a significant way. And I personally hope they're going to be able to figure out how to have you continue to do that. But okay. I don't even get a vote. But there's my vote if anybody needs it.
This is being recorded, right? So we can play this over and over again.
That's on the record.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. But Gaitley, look, you mentioned not to interrupt, but you mentioned that I don't. Yes, I understand that. I guess by nature that I am in a leadership position. That's Nassau County, blah blah blah. I get it, but I don't really feel that way. I mean, I don't. I even tell the board. It's like not that we work for each other, but we all work. We're all in this together. Right? I mean, yes, I do know, look, because of the years and the experience I've had, it's safe to say that I know more about kind of like chamber stuff than the average chamber person.
Right.
The average chamber person. Okay. Yes, we as a group are more willing and want to really help other chambers and other folks that maybe at times we weren't able to do in the past. Great. Okay. But that's really all it is. Maybe that's the difference. Maybe when you notice like me in front just having a good time at the breakfast, maybe I'm not, taking myself too seriously.
Right.
I'm not, I don't put words in your mouth.
No.
You get what
Absolutely.
I'm saying?
I do. I absolutely know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is the kind of thing that makes someone who's in that room think, maybe I'd like to be more a part of that, or maybe I'd like to be more involved, or how can I help be a part of it? Because if you've got somebody, again, everybody responds differently to different people.
Right.
But I will say when someone's at a podium and they look at their piece of paper and they just read it, and there's not that sense of hospitality, of welcoming people, of making people feel a part, and having fun in the process. It's, to me, whatever business you are in, if you are passionate about it and care about it, you're working so hard. And if you don't have joy in the process, it's just going to kill you in the end. You're going to throw the towel in before maybe you needed to.
If you're not having fun, what's the point, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I just think that component of it is just such a giant component of it that I selfishly love that you have brought to the equation.
Well, thanks.
We're kind of wrapping down, and what I'd like to say is, I think most of the chambers of commerce in Nassau County are members of the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce.
Yeah.
Is that true of all or most, or is there anything you would like to share with our listeners and our viewers about the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce, if people would like to learn more about it? What in a nutshell, do you all do? And if people are interested, how do they reach out to you?
Well, look, you can Google us, especially lately since we moved, it's more of a presence there now. It will come up. We're going to be developing resources there on the ground, as I mentioned before, to help small businesses. And then the website will do the same. For folks out in Nassau County, look into joining your chambers or getting involved with the chambers. That's really, it's not that we wouldn't, welcome you, of course, but like from the ground up, it's definitely start with the chambers, just as I did.
Right.
That's where you want to go.
Right. I would agree. And I will say, for me, it was Mary Stanko sitting at and thank you, Mary, sitting at, I forgot what it was. It was a mixer of some sort. And Mary said something to me about, you should consider joining the chamber.
Yeah.
And I will say those friendships that I have made through that organization not only help me in my work, but are friendships that I will have for my lifetime. I will have for my lifetime.
Me too.
And I think at the end of the day, you work so hard, you put so much time into it, you care so much, but it's the people you're around and the people you get to work with and that connection which makes so much difference. And to me, that's where things like our various chambers, things like the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce, the fact that you give a platform for all of us to come together makes such a difference. And I appreciate that. I'll tell you, Frank, it's been a pleasure having you today, having you be a part of Many Voices, One Community. Yeah. Certainly the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce bring many voices together around the table to support one community. And that's good for all of us.
Pleasure was mine, and it's truly an honor to be here.
Thank you. And I need to know, what is your costume going to be for the breakfast on the 31st?
Don't get me started.
No, you don't know yet. Okay.
I don't know. Okay. Frankenstein. There you go. Right.
So Dr. Mack said it was a Chippendale. Did she make that up?
I've gained some weight, so the Chippendale is out. No chip, maybe for you, but no Chippendale for Frank.
No, not for me. I've actually lost a little weight, but no.
Yeah.
But anyway, we look forward to it and looking forward to it. And to our viewers, thank you so much. You have been watching Many Voices, One Community. What a pleasure it has been to have Frank with us this afternoon, and or wherever you are watching this. Please make a point to go to hmtcli.org/HMTV. Again, hmtcli.org/HMTV to not only see this podcast, many of our other podcasts, and there's so much great programming, so make sure you head on over there. And until next time, thank you so very much.